Command. Mission objective has become time sensitive. Are you in position? Gurhm, are you there?
Copy that, Aesop. I've reached the zone of action. Ready to receive your orders. Over.
Excellent news, soldier. We need to act fast here. You're looking at a top priority weapons depot that's critical to the war effort. In order for us to choke the enemy's munitions supply, we need you to take control of that facility. Like I said, mission is now time sensitive and requires 100% stealth to keep our control of this location under wraps. That means no alarms, no outgoing comms, and no survivors. We clear?
Command, I count only 4 enemy guards in the compound. However, they're all patrolling right at the entrance. Stealth might not be possible here. Over.
Going loud is not an option, and they cannot know we're taking this weapons depot, soldier. Now we're running out of time. Do you have line of sight on all enemies?
Copy that. I do, but...
Then take a money shot, soldier. We're going dark on comms now, and we're counting on you. Over and out.
A money shot, huh? Alright. Challenge accepted. Here we go. Just a little bit more. And... 1 for the right eye. 2 for the schnoz. 3 for the left eye. And 4 for the balls.
Overkill.
Command, we are good. Enemy detection will not be a problem. What up, guys? Welcome to the show, and today I'm reviewing Sniper Elite VR. It's Rebellion's debut VR title, and to no surprise, they are crossing the VR threshold with their most popular franchise. I'm a big fan of Rebellion's work, too. Everything from Sniper Elite to Strange Brigade, and my personal favorite, the Nazi Zombie Army series. And despite some concerns I had going into it based on what I saw in the trailers, I was really stoked to see what Rebellion would do with Sniper Elite in VR. And let's just say we got some shit to talk about, yo. Emphasis on shit. Guys, if you like what you see so far, please hit that subscribe button below and join me for all my future reviews and future Sniper Elite content. And let's check out Sniper Elite VR. Thanks again for joining me, guys. And after 10 hours in Sniper Elite VR, as the credits rolled and I stood there watching the names go by of all the people who worked hard to make the best game they could, I realized my hands were fiercely gripping my controllers at how pissed I was with this freaking game. And I always watch the credits, guys, because I'm a gamer before a reviewer and I don't want to lose that perspective. There's a lot of reasons that a game can end up being bad. And I don't believe the people who work on or create games have any intention but to give players the most kick-ass experience they can. So I take that time to let it all sink in and process my experience, no matter what it was, and consider where the devs succeeded or failed. I'm bringing it to you straight like always, and we're gonna cover everything, guys. So let's begin with its gameplay. There's 2 things Sniper Elite VR does get right in this standalone title that put you in the shoes of an Italian resistance member in Nazi-occupied Italy during World War II. The sniping, and one of the franchise's most iconic mechanics, its X-ray kill cam. Like previous games in the franchise, the environment and noises on the battlefield are your friend. So you're using the sound of fighter planes flying past, gunfire and explosions, or even the clanking of nearby generators to hide the sound of your sniper shots. The rifles feel good to use too. The scopes are great with some nice options that allow you to disable the vignette for comfort, and despite most of them feeling and performing roughly the same, my favorite, which you'll see a lot in my review footage, was the silenced Delisle carbine, which is a really cool suppressed British sniper. Not only does it perform differently with its massive bullet drop-off due to using subsonic ammunition, which by the way made long distance shots really rewarding, but it significantly boosts the stealth gameplay, which I absolutely loved. In fact, my second favorite weapon in the game was the silenced pistol for that very same reason. These guns unfortunately don't become available until later in the campaign, which was a really poor design decision in my opinion. I would have much rather played stealthy using them through the entire game, but you can go back and play the game using them exclusively once they're unlocked. Regardless, the sniping was really fun, guys, and that was only boosted by Rebellion's use of the X-ray kill cam. Like the desktop games, it's absolutely kick-ass to land a great shot and get rewarded by following your bullet all the way to your victim and getting to watch it puncture their body and tear muscle and split bone and pop organs. It's gory and it is glorious, yo, and I absolutely loved these two aspects of the game. This, however, is where the good news ends and the rest of the game begins. And honestly, a lot of the shit I'm about to cover is either poor gameplay mechanics or just bad design that I expect AAA developers like Rebellion to not make in their games, even in VR. Firstly, the VR tracking is garbage. Grabbing items in the world is extremely unreliable. Almost every time I tried to grab anything, it took at least 2 attempts, and often more. And I'd likely grab the wrong thing if what I wanted to pick up was next to something else. This goes for the guns too. I'd be pulling out my clip when I just wanted to grab my gun with both hands. I'd grab a grenade off my belt when I wanted my pistol, or I couldn't pull the pin off my grenade when I needed to. And you can't even hold your pistols with 2 hands to shoot, guys, because the game is designed so you'll remove the gun's clip instead. Why they designed the pistols to be fired this way in the game is absolutely beyond me, you guys. Just by nature, I was grabbing the gun with both hands to try and fire it, and right at that moment, my second hand would pull the clip out of my damn gun and wouldn't allow me to shoot. It's an absolute mess that's aggravating as hell in slow moments, infuriating in action-packed moments, and in all cases, totally ruins the experience. It was even worse when interacting with items on your character. Your inventory is located on your belt and torso like most VR games. And not only did it suffer from the same tracking issues, but they designed in this controller vibration that would trigger anytime your hands moved near something on your belt or chest that you could interact with. And you can't turn it off, you guys. No matter what, if your hands get into interactive proximity of either the 2 guns on your hips, the 2 on your chest, or the 3 grenades on your belt. Basically, unless you walk around with your hands out and away from you at all times, which I ended up having to do, your damn controllers are gonna be vibrating all the freaking time, and there's no option to turn it off. Why they thought this was a good idea is beyond me, you guys. Every single moment it was so freaking frustrating, yo. I said it already, I'm gonna give it to you straight, guys. And honestly, the sniping was good enough that I was really close to giving its gameplay a 3-star. Really damn close. Even the AI, which I was concerned about, wasn't half bad. It has its issues for sure, but it also wasn't complete shit like Medal of Honor Above and Beyond's was. What knocked it down below a 3 though was the final 2 levels of the game getting locked behind previous mission achievements. And here's how it works, guys. Every level has 3 optional achievements you can get. Things like get 15 kills using grenades, or finish the mission under 10 minutes, or without setting off an alarm. And once you get to the final 2 levels of the game, if you haven't done enough of those achievements, probably because who cares, right? And They don't tell you that you need to do it. You're forced to go back and replay levels, probably levels from the first half of the game, which are the shittiest, just to get the achievements so that you can unlock the final 2 missions to finish the game. I've never seen this before in a game that I can remember, but it is the worst, immersion breaking, forcing you to play a certain way, garbage, wasting my bullshit. Ugh, it's unbelievable, you guys. If you could be a fly on my office wall in the moment I discovered that I had to go back and replay some of the game's shittiest levels how they wanted me to, just to finish this piece of shit, ugh, you would have seen a broken man. Absolutely mind-melting, you guys, and shame on Rebellion for locking the end of the game behind this garbage. I'm giving gameplay 2 out of 5 stars. Let's hit the graphics next, which, other than a couple highlights, the game really doesn't look good. The X-ray kill cam shots are absolutely the coolest part, and you can just tell they made sure that these were going to be super dope, and they were. It also looks pretty decent during nighttime levels, which fortunately there's quite a few of. Visually, they easily looked the best because the rest of the game has 0 real-time shadows or ambient occlusion in it. It also has horrible textures, and there's just a really low amount of detail across the board in the game, you guys, that made it feel static and stale. And I'm not one to typically complain about developers not using swastikas in World War II games anymore, but there was just such a lack of detail and symbolism used in the game that it often didn't feel like I was fighting Nazis. I want to feel immersed and compelled to slay the enemy. And by not utilizing the easiest visual opportunities like Nazi symbolism to do so, made it feel more like I was playing in some generic shooter that didn't capture the time, situation, or the enemy. I'm giving graphics 2 out of 5 stars. Audio's up next, and we're not gaining any ground here, yo. Firstly, the game is narrated by an older version of yourself who talks you through all his memories of the war as you play through them. And I think this was probably a cool idea on paper and could have been executed well, but it was way overdone here. In between levels, during loading screens, before and after important sniper shots, or around fight scenes, the narrator would be yapping on and on about shit. It lost its novelty really quick, often didn't fit the vibe, and after a while was just annoying. The game did sport some okay Italian-inspired music at times, but the worst part of the audio for sure was its sound effects. Other than the sniping and kill cam sounds, which were alright, everything was extremely low quality and sounded cheap as hell. And I don't know if it was a bug or just the worst sounding sound effect in the game, but every time I would empty a clip or shoot my last sniper round, it would make this sound that literally sounded like a bottle breaking in the game, which not only sounded bad, but always had me looking around afterwards confused, like, what the hell was that? I'm giving audio 2 out of 5 stars. Story's up next, and there's not a lot to talk about here, guys. You play an Italian World War II resistance vet who would track all his experiences during the war in a journal. During the missions, you play him as a young man during the war, and in between each level, you're put in the shoes of a younger family member who's reading his journal as you and your family relax at the family villa he fought for during the war. And that's it, guys. There's no actual characters to give a shit about. Any drama that occurs in the game's story lands like a pancake on water in 0G, and like I mentioned, it didn't feel like I was fighting against Nazis a lot of the time. It's straight up a garbage story through and through. I'm giving it 1 out of 5 stars. Last up are settings, and we'll start with VR controls, which were okay. There's not many movement options, and I didn't see a seated mode, which you probably can just do in the game and recalibrate your height, but a dedicated option here would have been nice to accommodate mechanics that would be impacted by being seated. Moving on to video and graphics, and there's a pretty good list of options here based on what the game offered visually when maxed out, so you should be able to tweak this however you need if you need to get some more performance out of it. Audio settings are next, and these were good. You get your major dials to tweak here, but there's no option to turn off mission objective sounds. So I did ding them here on that because that shit was so annoying. Last up are gameplay options, which were a mixed bag as well. You do get colorblind modes, which is kick-ass, and you can turn off the scope vignette, which I loved. On the other hand, there's no HUD options to turn off objective markers, and you can't turn off the controller vibration, which you heard me cry about enough earlier. So they hit the mark on some and totally missed on others. I'm giving settings 3 out of 5 stars. All right, let's give it a final score, guys. And honestly, I could have forgiven the graphics. I could have forgiven the audio. And I even could have forgiven the shitty story. But the gameplay, guys, I cannot forgive that. I don't know how much of this is due to the fact that Rebellion worked with 2 outside third-party developers on it. I definitely have my suspicions there, but Sniper Elite VR was a painful experience for me that felt half-baked, and when it would deliver something brilliant, it would almost always immediately take it away. I'm giving it 2 out of 5 stars. Honestly, I really do hope Rebellion takes what was successful here and all the opportunities to improve and makes another one in VR. And I know I'm giving it the same score I gave Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, but from a gameplay perspective, I do think there's a way better platform here that would allow them to develop a new one that's a hell of a lot better than that and way better than this. Guys, if you are a devout Sniper Elite fan, then I can only suggest waiting for a steep sale before picking this up, and only if they put out a solid quality of life patch that fixes the tracking issues. Otherwise, skip this one, yo. Unfortunately, the suffering just ain't worth your time or your money. Thanks again for joining me today. Don't forget, subscribe below if you're new to the channel and join me for all my future reviews. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the review, and there's gonna be a Patreon link that pops up here in just a second if you would like to support the channel. I do some kick-ass shit with my patrons and would love to have you a part of the community, so check that out, and I will see you on the next Gurhm's Garage. GG.